Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Nigerians are still getting grasping the whole EU report, that's the European Union report that made the presidential government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu reacting from back and center, insisting that it was biased and all that. But it looks like there's still more damning result coming from the NDI stroke IRI report. For some of us who do not know who this IRI is actually the International Republican Institute IRI and National Democratic Institute NDI, which they were actually joint election observation mission who came during the presidential election to also observe as international observers alongside EU, ECOWAS and others. What they came out in their report is something that if they had brought out this report before or during the proceedings for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Labour Party, PDP, probably they'll be tendering that to as one of the exhibits. And this is definitely coming from an international observer, has no influence whatsoever from the government of the day. And if you ask me, it speaks volume. We're going to find out in a moment what it is they said that is also indicting INEC. Before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, although the 2023 general elections are over, but the outcome and the process of the election are still much talked about by many Nigerians. The report recently released by the European Union as EU observers a few weeks back brought up several conversations as regards the elections. Well, the NDI and the IRI, that's the International Republican Institute IRI, and the NDI, the National Democratic Institute NDI, which are joint election observation mission, have actually released a joint report on the 2023 general election that was conducted all over the country. And according to a particular section shared by Oseloka H. Obazi on his official social media page, the international body claimed that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) used an alternative portal to house results of the presidential election before posting them to IRF. The international body also stated that a significant percentage of the results uploaded to IRF were unreadable. Oseloka H. Obazi said that the words that he quoted can be found on page 9 of their joint report. Let me read it and quote it word for word. He said, NDI-IRI report indict INEC. A significant percentage of the results uploaded to IRF were unreadable at the time of publication. INEC had still not uploaded more than 9,000 presidential polling unit results to the IRF and didn't clarify how many of these units were cancelled. Contrary to expectations and regulations, INEC used an alternate portal to house presidential results before posting them to the IRF. NDI IRI 2023 election report, and this can be found on page 9. Now, this is getting interesting, and many Nigerians have been reacting to this. My colleague is in the house. Would probably like to look this, very strongly. And this is, we're still shouting and still screaming. EU have given one of the most accurate results. But with NDI coming on, and ECOWAS seems to be the only one opposing some of these international observation reports. There seem to be aligning more of the government of the day, where some persons are talking. But before we go into what Nigerians are saying, you've heard what NDIRI have said. IRI have said they're also an international observation mission. Now, what's your take on all this report? And this is actually totally far away from what ECOWAS said. ECOWAS said it's credible and all that, but these ones are saying totally different. Remember the fact that INEC was supposed to post this result online real time as that is going now, saying with this report coming from NDI saying that there was an alternate portal. Is totally, what's your take on all this, please?
Well, already we know that the truth about this issue of election, that there was some moves by INEC. INEC acted as if they were part of the plot for APC to win the election. They were not umpires as far as we are concerned. They were not like referees in a match. They were like an additional player in the field. And that is what eventually all the key observers, both international and local, apart from ECOWAS, I don't know what those guys were reporting, because we know maybe some packages were given to them or something. I'm not so sure. But then what they reported was totally different from what other people are reporting. And apart from what those guys were reporting or are reporting, already what we saw on ground, which Nigerians, it was on social media and all of that, proved that this whole thing was altered, So for me, I think that all of this will boil down to the cancellation of that election. But then if they cancel that election, I'm wondering what will be the situation if there is a rerun for it, because already we know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not be unseated before that rerun. He will still be there as the boss, and then they will carry out the rerun. So that will be like a move of re-election back to the office. And and that same old guy in INEC will still be there, talking about Professor Mahmoud, who is behind all this trouble that we are seeing, in Nigeria. So for me, I think that what these guys have brought up is what Nigerians saw, and this is just like a confirmation to it. And I feel that alone can go an extra mile in aborting APC plan of sustaining the power. The re-election may likely be the verdicts from the judges.
If eventually there's a re-election, I would have said that they should just totally cancel it and probably give the mandate to another. But when you give them a mandate to another, he's already still as a government, as a president. The only reasonable thing that will make sense to him is a rerun. And now when you say a rerun, a lot of stakes are against Peter Obi. This is just my personal opinion. A rerun, even if you say you don't want to use Mahmoud, there are willing agents that will still do the bidding of the government. And now, if you say you don't want Mahmoud, has Mahmoud finished his tenure? Of course not. So we have not changed the policy that brought Mahmoud as the chairman of the INEC. There are policies and there are regulations on how to get an INEC chairman, of which Nigeria have not changed that policy. A lot of things will definitely work against Peter Obi. Many Nigerians may not be willing to come again and stake their life this time around. That's legitimizing a lot of things. They are only international observers. They just told you what they observed in all genuine, in all sincerity. It's now left for Nigeria and Nigerians and the government of the day to look into these abnormalities and see how they can correct these abnormalities. But the truth be told, a rerun, if you ask me, is going to be to a disadvantage of Peter Obi. And saying outright giving the mandate to Peter Obi may not sit down well with the sitting president. He said it categorically, Miloko is very straightforward. It is my turn. So you see that we do a rerun, which if you ask me, Peter Obi may need to bring in the God factor into the matter. I guess that's where we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in